Hey everybody, I hope you get out to vote or have already voted, as have I and millions of other people. On May 13th, the Mayor of Oakland, Libby Schaaf, and Oakland Vice Mayor, Oakland District 7 Councilmember Larry Reed launched something called the Oakland Economic Recovery Advisory Council. And the idea was that anyone could come onto this group, although they had a set number of people they already identified, to form a plan over a 4 to 6 month period that was a response to the economic damage caused by the pandemic. On that May 13th day, I issued a missive, a vlog that was extremely critical of the approach, saying that at a time when people needed immediate help, it was a simple act of people being in their comfortable homes, thinking of all of these different plans and ideas, but not addressing immediate problems or hearing from people who wanted help right now. Well, over that period of time, that's precisely what happened. And how I know this is that the city, actually not the city, but Michael Weinberg, one of the people who was on the council, issued a tweet that announced the release of the interim report of the group. And the group consists of a huge number of Oaklanders. Cool. But sadly, what I said was transpire is exactly what happened. It's analysis paralysis. It talks about a number of different programs and ideas and identifies different situations that people are facing because of the pandemic and pays attention to equity and diversity. Great. But it doesn't address the problem at hand, which is that people need resources right now. In fact, you would say, how do I know this? Well, look, over the time that they were meeting, they wound up talking to people who needed help right then. So you could actually see how the group was forced to transform, but couldn't because of its main directive. The big problem is that all of this was designed to be done on the internet. So let's look at how economic development will really handle this as if we didn't have the internet, from a person who did economic development before the internet was active, me. This is what we would have done in Oakland had the pandemic started, and let's say 1988 or 1994. How about 1996, when the internet was just becoming a blip of a thing. First, we would have set up an office, and we would have designed that office in such a way that it would have been kind of an indoor-outdoor setting, so that people would come in an intake fashion, and we would have, of course, the requisite requirements so that they would not be spreading the virus, and the virus wouldn't be spread toward them. We would have a phone number, a hotline. We would have a person in charge, a czar, if you will, and then a staff. And we would have a sheet laying out which organization of the existing organizations to call for what. Business loan or grant, Oakland Business Development Corporation. Assistance Ombudsman, for example, Oakland Office of Economic Development and Employment. What's an ombudsman? An ombudsman is a person who actually helps you navigate through the city's regulatory network so that you can achieve a resolution to your problem. This person knows the city so well that they actually walk through it with you or for you to get you the help you need. we would have identified the amount of money we needed preliminarily for each of these areas that I talked about: business development or rental assistance, and so on. And then we would have identified where to go to get at more money, a preliminary gap, and then adjust it as we went along. But most important, we would have established a date and time certain by which all of this will be ready, and would be within 2 to 3 weeks. The example I give wasn't really, that I think is the best example of how Oakland's responded in situations like this, wasn't really economic development, but it was related, and it was how we responded to the 1991 fire, and in particular, how we assisted people in what we call Rockridge now, who had never had to work with the city before, and in some cases were initially so disgusted they wanted to create their own town called Tuscany. And if you talk to Bob Klein, the creator of Oliveto Market Hall, he'll talk to you about that at length to this day. It was actually his idea, folks, but I digress, okay? My point is, we would have been forced to act right now. There would not have been this medium used to write voluminous reports and communicated, make it look like a lot of work was done to help people, and in point of fact, people weren't being helped at the rate they needed the help. And if you want a simple example of what I'm talking about, just use the eye test in terms of what Oakland looks like, and then of course the rising number of homicides that we're facing, which are directly related to the pandemic, and other cities are facing the same problem. People need money. They need resources. If they don't have it, it changes their behavior. That's a fact. For some particular reason, and I'm not interested in some analysis of the reason why, I'm interested in the eradication of the behavior, we in Oakland seem to be allergic to wanting to make people well monetarily. We have a problem with economic development. We have a problem with understanding how to make sure that people have jobs and create wealth. We're more willing to tell a person what they can't do or what they shouldn't do rather than help them do something or figure out a creative way to get it done. This has gone on for quite some time, and the city now reflects it. It reflects it. And it's tearfully, tearfully sad. We've got to stop. We can do better. We've done better in the past, but right now, we're not doing well at all. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. And make Oakland work. Not make Oakland better. No, make Oakland work.